Hey everyone, it's Michael and
Andrew.
and
Ruben
from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au. So this is the time of year where we try and gaze into our crystal ball, see if we can come up with some accurate predictions, which invariably prove wrong. So I just want to highlight, A, we're going to be wrong. B, this is not financial advice. Please do not bank your decisions moving forward on what we're going to say. Listen to it as a general discussion and then come to your own conclusions. Because as we have proven in the past, we get some things kind of right. We get most things kind of wrong in various forms. But we kind of muddle along in the middle as well. All right, Andrew, kick us off. Where do you reckon?
Well, I haven't done a huge amount of charting, so I don't know. What are we at now? We're at 24-ish in silver. We're talking about gold or silver here?
Let's kick off with gold first. 'Cause I'm more comfortable with it.
Okay.
So the price right now, we're going to go in USD?
We're going to do both.
Okay, well, we'll kick off USD in gold. So currently we're looking at about $2,028, so $2,030, call it somewhere around there. And we've just come off, just to give a bit of historical background, we've just come off a bit of a charge up. In fact, I think the other day, didn't it hit 2,100? It jumped fairly rapidly. So we've had a fairly quick build up in gold over the last kind of couple of weeks.
And what are we at in Australian dollars? 30, just under 31?
Just under 31, I believe. But if I can change the chart, so $3,074. So just under 3,100.
So I think, what sort of time frame are we talking here? The whole year, next year?
Yeah, let's go for the whole year. But you can break it up into, chunks if you want.
So I think, December, we have been easing a little bit. But I do think January and February will both be pretty good months. And even continue on from that, but maybe not a hell of a lot. But, in Australian dollars, probably 3,500, I think would be the most you could get in the next few months. So that would probably be around that 2,150, 2,200 probably in US dollars. For the rest of the year, I do expect it to do well. Not much more on from that, maybe 37, potentially 4, but I don't think so by the end of the year. I think that's too high. But yeah, somewhere between, I think it could get to 3,500 in the next year and sit around there.
I agree and disagree. I agree with your US dollar. I think the outlook for gold for the next 12 months is good. I think going from more the touchy-feely side than the charting side, I think we're seeing a lot of uncertainty around the world, a lot more conflict around the world, and I think that drives a desire to go back to gold. And as interest rates start to fall, we're going to see that push into gold. So I think I agree with the 2,200. I think that'll play out over the whole year. I don't think it'll charge through it in the first part in US dollar terms, but I would call the Australian dollar getting stronger over the next year, or more accurately, I think the US dollar is going to become weaker over the next year. And I think conversely, that's going to drive the strength of the Australian dollar up. And so that's going to mean that even though now, if we jump to 2,200 USD, we'd see gold at 3,500 or higher, I think we'll actually see the gold price in Australian dollars not go up as much. I think we're probably... I can see us hitting that 3,500. I don't believe we're going to charge much further through than that.
Yeah.
So I'm possibly a little bit more cautious than you on that one.
I think that would be my sort of target. If I was entering now and it hit 35, I'd be pretty happy exiting there.
Would you be comfortable entering gold now? Because we've just had a run up.
Yes, I would be waiting a little bit lower, a little bit longer. Probably, I think towards the end of the month, I want to see some more, some real blow-offs in crypto and the NASDAQ get right up there. And then, when they look way too super hot, I want to, cash those out, chuck them into gold, see a nice little rally in January, February, and then get out.
Yeah.
But because generally when they do sort of get really overheated and pull back, I think, as long as it's not a recession or anything, gold and silver will trend higher.
Yeah. One of the things I've liked recently that gives me more confidence in going into gold is the fact that the gold price has been going up in USD and the Australian dollar has been strengthening. So it's not hugely uncommon, but it is uncommon to see the US dollar weakening, the Australian dollar charging up and gold charging up as well. There's usually a breakdown in there somewhere. and we tend to see the price reflected in that. And this time we're seeing this, the Australian dollar is not charging up, but it is going up. But gold is also going up. We're getting the best of both. Like, it's not actually the best of both worlds. The best of both worlds is when the Australian dollar comes down and the gold price goes up. But we're seeing that we're not being penalised for the strengthening of the of gold in US dollar terms, which is interesting to see. It gives me more confidence.
And silver?
The silver, I'm not super hot. Again, I'm coming from the touchy-feely side. I'm not super confident that manufacturing is going to have the legs next year. I think I have more confidence in the second half of the year than I do the first half of the year. But I think the first half of the year, we're going to float around about where we are in US dollar mark, which is kind of that $24 mark. I don't see it kicking on a lot stronger. But assuming that some of these things can get organised towards the end of next year, that's where I'm expecting to see the silver price in US dollar terms head up. Conversely, that means if the Australian dollar does strengthen against the US, that's going to mean that in Australian dollar terms, we're actually going to, if I'm correct, we're actually going to see the price ease in Australian dollar terms for silver.
Ease?
In Australian dollar terms, I think it may ease.
I think if the Australian dollar does increase, I think the silver price will also increase, and you won't see as strong as rally in Australian dollars, but it will still rally. And I'm looking for probably both. I think what I'm expecting is probably about 10 to 15 at most % in the first couple of months, which is a big call. And I'm definitely
just for silver or for gold as well?
Both. And I definitely don't think. I think I'm happy if it doesn't play out. It's just sort of what I'm looking at. I'm willing to put some chips down, and even if it's only 3 or 4%. Then no biggie, but I think 10 to 15% for both silver and gold in the first quarter.
Wow! And moving forward from the first quarter with silver,
I haven't really looked too far beyond that, but probably a pullback somewhere around there, and then probably continues higher. So I'd be looking for what? So that's that low to mid 30s, and then possibly 35
in US dollar terms.
In US dollar terms, 35 would be the max target.
So you're far more
in 2024.
Bullish than I am.
Yeah, but I think in 2025, my absolute most target would be 50 US.
You reckon we might even nudge through the 40?
I think so, but won't be till probably 2025.
Wow. This will be an interesting video to review in 12 months' time, because we've almost gone with silver. We've almost gone polar opposites.
We've gone nowhere. But, the price has gone nowhere. And
well, yeah, but moving through 2024, I'm saying...
You reckon it's going to go down?
I think it's probably going to ease in certainly the first quarter, but the first half.
I would like to see 35 in 2024 US.
I'd like to see us break through 27.
Yeah, well, 27 is the first target.
Yeah.
I think nothing's going to happen until that breaks, and if it does, 30 would be the next, and then 35.
Oh, I can't wait for December next year now. I want to see how this plays out. But yeah, so you're calling 35 plus, even 40?
No, not plus. Not till 2025. 2024, I'll stick with 35 as a max. Yeah.
There you go. So from the peanut gallery experts, there's our predictions for gold and silver next year. Stay tuned for 12 months' time. Let's see how accurate we are. We'll try and do a review in 12 months' time, all things being equal.
Sounds good.
And yeah, hopefully one of us is right and one of us is wrong.
See ya.
See you next time.